Well, if you try to observe for the past decades, for the past centuries, for the past millennium, scientists and philosophers and religious scholars are keep on debating about it. If you notice, am I correct? They keep on fighting, debating about their ideologies, their principles, which is entirely different from each other. However, sad to say, most scientists, most religious and philosophers keeps on debating on that, keeps on objecting with each other. Apes are from a different species, human beings are from a different species. What was the appearance of the first human beings? How do first human beings look like? How do they appear? In the Christian perspective, the first humans are Adam and Eve. However, most people at present are deceived by the paintings that Adam and Eve is beautiful, they are strong and beautiful. In reality, no. If you read the evolution, if you study geology, for example, the first human beings are ape-looking. They have larger jaws. However, as years pass by, as decades pass by, as centuries pass by, human beings evolve to look finer because of the climate, because of the cosmetics, because of the food we eat. So technically, we did not came from apes. We are human beings, but we evolve because according to many people that there's nothing impossible with God.
Yes.
Which is true. In fact, we are created in 6 to 7 days. You'll be surprised. Everything was created in 6 to 7 days by the Supreme Being. However, the mistake of many people is that they interpret it the wrong way. Because if you try to observe, this is the planet Earth. We have a different calendar here. If you go to a different planet, go to Mars, go to Saturn, go to Jupiter, it revolves differently in a different fashion. The sunrise and the sunset in planet Earth might be different from another planet. Same also with the scriptures. Who do you think is the first author of the Holy Bible, specifically the book of Genesis? Who is the author? Do you remember? Who was the first author of the Holy Bible? It's Moses. When Moses wrote the Bible, is he using the calendar that we are using at present? Definitely no. The calendar that we are using at present is just a calendar introduced by Pope Gregory during the 1400s. In our present calendar, we have 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a day, 60 seconds per minute. That calendar was not used in the past. So it's true that the entire universe was created in 6 to 7 days, but not into 6 to 7 Gregorian calendar days. So it's true. The Bible is stating a fact, and religion is stating the fact that religion and science, they are coexisting. It's how you interpret it. But most people interpret things the wrong way. That's the reason we live in a dysfunctional society, because most people don't get it straight. They can work together. However, we have to restructure, we have to reconstruct the educational system. All of us believe in God. Does Einstein believe in God? And Dr. Kaku and Stephen Hawking, do they believe in God? Not everything that you see in media is accurate. Einstein is playing safe in front of the media, in front of his articles, in his write-ups, but he has a different belief. According to Einstein, he believes in a physical God, in a creator. He believes in a creator, but he does not believe in God. According to him, there is a God, there's a creator, because look at the universe. There's harmony in everything. The structure is perfectly created, or there's a masterpiece behind that. But according to Einstein and other scientists, you should not worship him, because God is not a spirit. That's the perspective of most scientists. They believe in a physical God that is the energy, the universe, but it should not be worshipped. Sad to say. So that is the one being subscribed by scientists. They believe in a creator, because it's cause and effect. But there should be a creator first, before everything happens. But they don't believe in a spiritual being. They don't believe that it should be worshipped. There is someone, an expert, an architect who designed all of this. So in short, science and religion coexist. Sad to say, we cannot unite them. But we should restructure our educational system to make them coexist. So in reality, they are in harmony. It's just, it was interpreted the wrong way by our society. During the Spanish takeover of our islands, the religion took over the government. It became a superpower. It became supreme. But in reality, if you studied political science, if you studied government science, politics, and governance, the theory, according to the theories of the state should be on top. Religion is just one factor, one component, or one stakeholder of the society. So here's the state. There's a government, religion, business community, family, organization. That should be the case. But sad to say, some religions are very parochial. They want to conquer everything. You should respect each other. That's my stand. They should respect the government and vice versa. And the government should also respect the religion. Sad to say, our government is quite dysfunctional these days. It's very chaotic. I don't know what formula that we can apply in order for the state, the government, and the same religion can unify and be harmonious. The church should subscribe to the state because it is just one factor. We should respect each other's belief at the same time. We should not have a state religion. If you go to other progressive countries, there's no such thing as major state religion. Go to United States, they have different denominations. They respect each other. Go to Singapore, they don't even have an official language. You can speak any language you prefer. Some people speak Bahasa, some people speak Tamil or English. It should be that way in our country also. There should be no supreme. Since we live in a democracy, all of us should have equal rights. Someone should intervene in the way they see it. And the majority, or should I say the major ruling church, somehow should humble themselves. Because somehow they're abusing at present. They think that they're state supreme. In reality, there's no such thing as state religion. That's my suggestion. We should fix the constitution that there should be no such thing as state religion or state language to promote equal rights for all. Because if you keep on promoting a specific religion or a specific state language that should be subscribed by all citizens of the country, it will be chaotic for sure. We should respect each other's diversity. Diversity should always be implanted to our youth, the students, to office workers, to the government, for us to have peace. If there will be a majority or a ruling party, we will be dysfunctional for the rest of our lives. We should respect diversity. No majority. Everybody should be equal. Everybody should be a minority. So we were taught the wrong way, no offense, by our elders, by our parents, grandparents, by our teachers, that, for example, if that religion is wearing a certain cloth, for example, a certain costume, they are scary, they are terrorists. We are taught the wrong way. In reality, like what I've told you earlier, we should reconstructure, we should revise our constitution, that there should be no such thing as state religion. If we can impose that, no such thing as state religion, we will be able to respect each other. They will have diversification. Because sad to say, most religions feels that they are supreme over the other. I won't mention religions here, but let's put it this way. If you're not a member of this religion, you will not be saved. You should be a member of this one. But the reality behind that is the church leaders, the pastors, wants to sustain their membership for the religion to grow or for their income to be sustained. That's the sad part. Not necessarily for us to be saved. Because in reality, once you die, where will we go? Where do you think? In the Catholic side, if you are good, you go to heaven. If you are somehow 50-50, you can go to the purgatory. If you're a sinner, you go to hell. That's from a Catholic perspective. But if you go to another Christian perspective, like the evangelical Christians, according to them, once you die, you'll be sleeping, or your spirit, your soul will go to the hands of God. Then once the judgment day comes, second coming of Christ, there will be a formal judgment of the entire souls. That's from a different perspective. So different religions have different perspective. But in reality, the way they see it from a physical perspective, once you die, all of us are clueless. No point of destination. We don't know everything. You cannot say that the Bible is the most supreme book, that if you don't subscribe to the Bible, you'll die, you'll be punished in hell. That's not true. Because we don't know yet. Not everything is revealed in this planet. You will be judged. Siguro the best statement for this one, you will be judged based on what you have believed. That's the safest way. So in short, we should respect each other because we don't know yet where we will go. And religions should revise also their ideologies, that they should not condemn other people. Or it's the work of the state in schools that we should always emphasize in our constitution, that respect each other's faith. That's the safest way. I guess yes, but we'll be needing media intervention because most people these days, especially millennials, trust media first, social media, traditional media, instead of traditional books or traditional teachings. So we need media intervention for this to work. In fact, we should not be too parochial or be too conservative about it. Because let's face reality, Philippines cannot offer much, or should I say developing countries like our country cannot offer much to our citizens. So we cannot blame the parents if they need to work abroad. And most people these days, Meganers, don't listen much to their parents. Most of them listen to the media. Sad part in the Philippines, they keep on watching teleseries, which is not really a culture in other countries. So most people in this country these days have relied on media for their guidance, for their knowledge. So this time, we need the government, we need religion, we need everybody to work hard to appear in media to teach kids proper values. We cannot rely everything to the parents. Because based on my organization's research, most parents are not educators. We need media intervention. We need the Department of Education, Commission of Higher Education, Technical Skills Development Authority, TESDA, CHED, and DepEd to promote proper parenting. Because most parents are not educators. This time, we need state intervention via media. If most politicians are very corrupt, they keep on stealing billions of money, why not spend those billions in advertising moral values? Because that's the best way, internet and television. We cannot enforce books at this point to the children. At an early stage, most people are into visual. So that's my take on that. With regard to gender equality, we don't have that anymore. In this society, in the 21st century, it's either the men or the women who is being empowered too much. That's wrong. Women empowerment is too much, men empowerment is too much. It should not be the case. Let's respect diversity once again. Let's face the reality that we have various genders at present. We have the gays, we have the lesbian, we have the LGBT community. They should be given equal treatment also when it comes to employment. Because at present, in the 20th century, most men are preferred. If you read classified ads, we prefer men to work in the corporate. In the 21st century, it's always the women. We prefer women assistants, women CEOs, we don't prefer men. So there's also discrimination. Then LGBT are always secluded. But these days, let's promote equality across all genders. That's my take. We should promote in television, in media, that LGBT is also respectable beings. Because in fact, you'd be surprised, most people from the LGBT are very talented people. They have the perspective of being a man and a woman at the same time. So they can offer a lot in entertainment, in arts, in a lot of things. Yes, we can never stop them. As centuries pass by, they keep on researching on how to stop the LGBT community, on how to stop children going from becoming a lesbian or gay, but we cannot find any research at present on how to mitigate them. So the best way is to nurture them, because they deserve equal treatment. In fact, in military, you'll be surprised. Many people in the military force, there's a research stating that 25% of the military force are homosexuals. Some of them are lesbian, some of them are gays, but they're effective. So they should be given professional treatment. But sad to say, I'm not biased, I'm just stating the truth. In the Philippines, LGBT is secluded, discriminated. Men these days are being discriminated also. It's always the women who is always empowered. So it's very important we should respect diversity. We need the media to promote diversity when it comes to religion, government service, when it comes to genders. That's the only way. And we need that, and the Ministry of Education to keep on inculcating to the children as early as their childhood days. Because sad to say, in the Philippines, we are more of the grade conscious. If you go to Singapore, if you go to Japan, they're not of the grade conscious. During the first grade up to the fourth grade, they teach their children proper values, ethics, respect for diversity before they implement academics, in order for the children to be very diverse. But in the Philippines, sad to say, even though you don't learn, it's fine, as long as you have high grades. In fact, for example, if I'm a parent, I won't require my children to have high grades. I want them to be smart. I want them to respect diversity, respect each other. Moral values is more important than grades. It will be very effective. However, we can no longer implement it in this present generation. So we'll wait for the next generation. As early as now, it is the duty of the universities, colleges, schools, television networks, social media sites to promote altruism. Let's say in the case of the Philippines, I have to say, most Filipinos worship celebrities, most Filipinos worship movie stars. Why not reconfigure or reprogram the concept of the TV shows? Why not slowly promote altruism, or make altruism, should I say, as an elective or a basic 3-unit subject all across different universities? We should promote altruism this time, and we're heading globalization. We should not be too parochial. We should promote altruism, care, and compassion for one another. We need diverse society. plus the moral values should be inculcated all across those professions. So my proposal is, I hope in the future that the Department of Education, Commission of Higher Education will impose additional units, should I say 12 to 15 units about human compassion courses, which includes altruism, proper parenting, respect for elders, respect for religion. It should be inculcated as early as grade 1, not focus on Bicol Filipino from grade 1 to college. We should focus this time on altruism. That's the best way, because we can no longer teach old dog new tricks. We can no longer teach the politicians, business leaders, the millennials about it. We focus on the younger people through the curriculum, through media. That's the only hope we have.